Disrupt yourself or be disrupted with Nikki Verd, a kick-ass author, international keynote speaker, digital knowledge amplifier, and a voice for those who yearn to reinvent themselves. Disrupting yourself is the key to progress and growth in the world of disruptive technologies.
Technology is the key to inclusiveness in South Africa. Right. South Africa is the most unequal society in the whole world. And I wanted to just pause and think about a parent that has two children. And one of the children lives outside in the cold. And only the other child lives inside in the house. Now in the house, there's air conditioning, there's warmth, there's a bed, there's food. Yet the child still sleeps outside. Now, when we look at that parent, what would we define that parent as?
Something is wrong.
Wicked, right? We'd say this parent is completely evil.
Right.
There's everything in the house, and your child sleeps outside. Something is wrong with the parent. Right. Now, that parent is the most unequal parent in the world because the one child is in luxury and the other child is freezing every night. That's South Africa. And our leadership is that parent because they're the ones that are sitting in the luxury. They're the ones that are sitting indoors in the warmth now during winter. They're the ones who do not have load shedding. They're the ones whose electricity never gets cut in their houses. They're the ones with the generators. Yet the majority, the other child is sleeping outside. Now, the way for us to fix this whole situation, the biggest equalizer that we have today is technology.
Absolutely.
Technology is the only thing that says you did not learn spelling and grammar when you were still in school. So you cannot write a good supporting document to present your idea. But ChatGPT says, what is the idea? It edits the idea and it gives you the perfect landing. It says you did not learn how to create a perfect Instagram post to advertise your new business as a child who grew up in Alexandra, who did not go to the right schools. And you get a video editing app or a social media app with AI that says, I will create everything for you. Perhaps you do not know how to write a book with a grammar that it needs for it to be published internationally. And this AI bot says, I will help you edit it and fix it for you. Technology of the fourth industrial revolution. And this is the reason why in South Africa, it's fought the most. People don't realize it. The reason why everybody's fighting against technology, the reason why they don't want it to come, the reason why they are fighting tooth and nail to make sure that Starlink by Elon Musk does not hit South Africa is because they know that they lose the power that they've had over the people for many years. The grip that they've had over the people is that they are poor and they'll always vote for us. They know nothing and they'll always vote for us. But now with ChatGPT, that person in the villages with Starlink, they're able to go on the internet and say, is the ANC the best party to vote for? And ChatGPT will come and give them answers. So that's their biggest fear, to say, how do we make sure that these kids, we keep them under for as long as we can? Because if we let them realize, if they see that there's AI that can help them design their own political party, that there's artificial intelligence that can show them how to mobilize, that there's apps that they can use to show them how to create videos, to create their resumes, to create businesses that are even profitable. They might wake up and say, actually, what is a government? What is this ANC doing for me? If AI from a stranger can do much more. They might wake up and say, you know what, enough is enough. I'm not going to vote for these people. I'm going to choose a different path. They might wake up and say, you know what, I'm actually going to revenge by making sure that I tell everybody around my community, my village, my town, that stop voting for these people because they're a detriment to our future. And that's their biggest fear. And that's why they'll fight Starlink. That's why they'll say, we'll make sure that no South African gets access to this Starlink because Elon Musk might give it to them for free. And we've been in communication with Elon Musk. They're very open to making sure that communities that cannot afford in South Africa get free internet. And you know who's shaking? The government. Because they know that where will our profits come from? Where will we make our money? If Elon Musk is giving people in the townships free internet, how will we continue to control the narratives that we control? Because these people will be able to go on the internet as they are saying, we will build houses in the townships. The person will say, hold on, ChatGPT tells me that you said this speech last year and nothing has changed.
Or 5 years ago.
Or 5 years ago and nothing has changed.
Right.
So that's their biggest fear. And even with that happening, some of us are still fighting to say, hey, Elon, please don't give up on this. We know that our government is the reason why you're not in South Africa, but please don't give up on it. What do you need? We're here to fight for you and fight with you because we understand that until we defeat this enemy, which is our current government, anybody who's willing to help us is not an enemy, they're a friend.
You know, what you're saying is very profound, and I can see the passion and the vision you have for the country. But somehow I also feel that the barrier to breakthrough is not necessarily going to be the government per se, but also the people in terms of mindset. I said this back on the story I just told, the school that I spoke to recently. I heard many of the teachers instructing the children, don't use ChatGPT. And I was like, what? So I came up when it was my turn. I was like, I'm sorry, I have a different perspective on this. We are living in a digital era. And many of the jobs in the future, I mean, starting even from now, like before when computers became the thing, right? Employers changed the way they request or whatever they were expecting on CVs. And they will be like someone with computer knowledge. Computer knowledge is important for this role and all of that. That's where I see the future going in terms of ChatGPT. Knowledge of ChatGPT is important for this role. That's what is going to happen going forward. And if teachers are instructing our young kids, don't use ChatGPT, where are they ever going to learn the skill of interacting with AI systems? So when it was my turn, I told them, I'm sorry, you have your own perspective on this, but this is my perspective. The time for the children to learn ChatGPT using AI system, not just ChatGPT, there's so many different AI systems. Google just released theirs, Bard, right? But all of these needs for humans to interact with it by learning how to prompt, how to write properly. Because if you put in the wrong thing, it gives you the wrong answer as well. That is the power of artificial intelligence. It is open in a way that you have to interact with it to get the answers. So my question was, how are children going to graduate in future and be able to function in the world where organizations are looking for people with knowledge of ChatGPT, or people, the technical term for it is people with prompt engineering, people who are good at prompting. Prompting simply refers to your ability to talk to an AI system. If we are hiding this or sort of banning it, our kids to have access to it, that does not make sense at all. So as much as there's a government to be convinced about these things, I think that people on the ground themselves, they are still very much behind in terms of their mindset. I allow my kids to explore ChatGPT and other things. Even when they come home with assignments, I'm like, okay, this is how you do it, so that they get to learn how to use this system. Like, don't take it from the system and go submit it in school. Add your own creativity to it. This is the way you learn prompting. This is the way you do it. My daughter is 10, my son is 14. And I'm trying to let them know, interact with this system. Now, to the point where when they go to school and they're bragging with their friends about ChatGPT, their friends are like, what is ChatGPT? So like I was saying, so what plan do you have to be able to navigate this? As much as the vision is great, the people on the ground, if they are not receptive of the vision, how does that even begin to be implemented?
Yeah, our hope really lies within young people. And it's a very sensitive thing, but young people in themselves, as much as, the flight of young people is groove in South Africa, the flight of young people is, TikTok and everything else and podcasts and everything. Young people still have the best thinking ability in the country. And young people can analyze and see when things are going wrong. Young people are what we are fighting for. There's something that young people can see, and they've started to see it. Even if you look at our social media, our TikTok,
right?
They've started to see that the people that are very much against a rise are the older generation, because they can see that these people are fighting for the young people and they are not apologetic about it.
Right.
So we've started to notice a trend where young people have started to support us, to say, listen, I'm going to tell my mom, we've got WhatsApp groups where we've got different branches, and people are forcing their moms to get in, to say, you will join this WhatsApp group and you will throw away your ANC shirt,
That's great.
And this is all happening because young people are starting to see that because we're seeing a young person who's our age fight for us, we too need to fight. Right. one of the things that young people said to me recently, I said to them, we're just talking a strategy session. And I said to them that, now that we're running for president, it's important that, we stop the Instagram lives, I stopped doing the vlogs. And they said, no. They said, we want a president who goes live on Instagram.
Of course.
They said, we want a president who goes live on TikTok.
Right.
They said, we can't still be thinking that the world must be run by the old way of doing things. When will we as young people have our own trends and cultures be able to influence society? And they said, Mpho, we don't want you to change a single thing. They said, we want a president that is aware of what we're doing so that we can support these things,
As you mentioned, stopping Instagram live, what?
Because we were so used to the elderly that said, there was this old man that saw an interview of mine and I was wearing my Arise t-shirt, and I was going live and talking and everything. And he said, no, a president must be in a library. There must be books behind you. You must be formal. You can't just, in a t-shirt, take out a phone. That's not presidential, So the older generation still believes in that very much. They still believe that a president should be, a president should speak very slowly. And, they still believe in these old ways of doing things, One guy said to me, they said, I've been hearing you speak, but you don't use the word, He said, what do you mean? They said, every politician must say, you see with this technology, with this chat GT, we are looking into, And they said, that's what we expect from a politician. And then they're like, but when you speak, we're taking notes, And I said, that's the truth of what we should be experiencing.
Absolutely.
A leader should be somebody who can go into the future, see what exists and come back and make sure that we're fighting. One of the things that, I was really touched about was, when you go to Silicon Valley right now, everybody's talking AI. What AI startup are you part of? Which AI are you building? Is it image AI? Is it video AI? Is it, But when you come to South Africa, it's load shedding. Every young person is discussing load shedding. And it's a real painful point because what we're not realizing is that we're staying behind. And I said to people that we need to get AI into vernac. We need AI to be in Zulu. So that a Zulu person can say, "We're ChatGTP," and immediately it's able to give it in English. A vendor person can say, ChatGTP into the business plan your ranks as and immediately does the business plan in English. Where now people are saying, but can your ChatGTP now understand when somebody's speaking both Zulu and Xhosa at the same time, And that becomes the argument of the day, where we're now making sure that even our grandmothers are able to use ChatGTP. And they're able to use it in their own language. And it's able to understand these prompts. And we're able to change this language and make sure that we too are included in this. And that's really where we want the thinking to start going to. So the young people are the ones that are fighting for us. And the young people are saying, we don't want food parcels. We want relevant information. We want ideas. We want policy frameworks. We want to hear what you're going to do. We want to see the partnerships of the companies you're going to be bringing. We want this information so we can work with it. So what are we doing as a political party? We're already talking to ChatGTP to say, do we have governmental systems? We're already talking to AI and blockchain systems to say, do we have these systems? Are they ready? How do we use them? We're already sitting down with the IEC saying young people want to vote online. We are already making sure that systems are in place. So when we do enter the government, it's no longer a conversation of, oh, but you said you're going to do it. It's a conversation of, all right, now that we're here, let's go. Starlink, beam. AI, beam. Let's go. Let these things function. Because our job is to make sure that we're preparing the minds of the people and preparing the people. And those that get it are with us. Those that get it are with us. Our videos, social media, we've seen so many people share our videos, not because we're talking about a dance move or a challenge, because we're basically talking about changing the country. And people are saying, every time I see this, I'm going to share it. And the reason why they're sharing it is because they're realizing that this has enough potential to change the country.